I'm from Toronto, Canada. That's where our head office is. The company's called Geotab, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. We are a telematics company. Many of the names you'll notice and recognize up there, and what that actually means is we put a device on the vehicle and we can monitor all the health of your vehicle as it's driving. You'll know the location. Matter of fact, we can get everything you can imagine off of a CAN bus, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But with we have over 40,000 customers now, and 2.5 million vehicles drive around the world with our device on it, and we're growing daily. We install approximately between 60 and 80,000 devices per month. So we're in 130 countries, and just last year we were ranked the #1 telematics company, and so we were humbled by that and humbled by our success. In the government space specifically, you'll notice on the left-hand side we have GSA, which is the federal fleet. That fleet consists of about 214,000 vehicles. There'll be a Geotab device on every one of those vehicles, or we will ingest the OEM data. So right now, OEMs, International was just up talking about having an embedded device in their vehicle, and so we'll digest or ingest all of that information into our portal, and so that you can have either our device on there, or if there's an OEM device in there. We work with DOD, Air Force, Navy, and so on. Department of Homeland Security, we have a 5-year BPA with them. State of California, New York City, and you can see all the other states just down there that have adopted Geotab. But pertinent to this group, Geotab is on all of the vehicles in the California DOT, which is Caltrans. We have a state contract out there that mandates that they put our device on every one of those vehicles. We were awarded TxDOT just earlier in the year, and we're in the middle of implementation. We have a very quick implementation. We're trying to get every vehicle, I think it's 12,000 vehicles across the entire state within 1 year, so you can imagine. And then same with Colorado DOT. We're doing their installation, and that's on not only on light duty, but on their heavy duty and their truck fleet as well with winter ops. So you can kind of see all the different DOTs that we work with. One of the things that I think is unique about Geotab is we have one throat to choke, so to speak. We manufacture our own device, our own firmware, and our own software. So you don't need to really go out. For example, as you can imagine, working with the groups that we do in the DOD, if anything was to come along that was malicious, and we get that obviously quite often now in this day and age, Geotab's allowed to make the change, or able to make that change very quickly on the spot, either with firmware or through software, and we can send that over the air. Many of you are familiar with Tesla's ability to send messages over the air and change the setup of the vehicle. We can also do that, and that's how we maintain our top security. A lot of people ask the question about why Geotab and what's the other differentiators. Rather than getting GPS odometer, we get real odometer from the ECM. Ease of integration. So we integrate with your back-end systems so that we're pulling in data from obviously the vehicle, but then all of that information typically goes back into your maybe an FMS provider. Our friends from AssetWorks are here, and all of that information can be gathered into one spot and then can be manipulated and then put up and sent out to the rest of the state to know where the vehicles are and the health of those vehicles and how long the vehicles have been on the road and maintenance and so on. Sustainability policies, as you know, everybody's talking about it now, is the new electric vehicles that are coming out. We have, I think now we support over 200 electric vehicles, so we can give you state of charge, where that vehicle is, and how long it's been charging, and what that charge rate is on the fly. So, a couple of interesting things on that. And most importantly, I think in government space, and I know some of my friends in here will start laughing when I talk about ease of contracting. I don't know if that's such a thing in government, but we seem to have been able to get around it in terms of going out with cooperative contracting. So what Geotab has done is we've worked with all of our state agencies to have our device, our harness, and our installation all bundled into one price, which is $20.50. And with that, you get everything from Geotab in terms of support and service. So we'll come out and we'll be able to pull all that information into one portal for you, have all of your reports broken down, and they can be sent to anywhere within your agency or elsewhere. I think it's very important. We use cooperative contracting either through NASPO or Sourcewell, or we use state contracts. For light duty vehicles, same. $20.50, no CapEx costs. We also have active tracking. So for a lot of the vehicles that are on the road right now that are emergency services vehicles, you're able to see those vehicles in real time, second by second as they're driving, and you can follow that vehicle. And it's very important, as you can imagine, when you're working with like companies like department or agencies like Department of Homeland Security. We want to make sure that we have the people in that vehicle are as safe as they can be. Winter operations, which for some of you, maybe not down here, but for some of you in the north will be very important. We're able to integrate into all the controller heads and so on. I don't know if the guys will probably laugh at me because I might got that wrong, but all of your different spreader rates and so on, we can measure all that, and that all comes back into a central portal. Again, being able to know if the road's been plowed, and then that can then be sent out to the public. So you can have plow up, plow down, and then also know through 511 what vehicles are on the road and what vehicles have been plowed, as well as how much sand, salt, and brine has been put on the vehicle. Many of you have ruggedized or have yellow iron vehicles perhaps in your fleet. We're able to use what we call Go Rugged, so that sits exterior to the vehicle. And again, we can pull in a lot of the information off of these yellow irons. So everything, again, coming into one portal, whether it's from a golf cart all the way up to a tank. And I mean that literally, we've been on all. So, and with the electric vehicle, again, I touched on it earlier, how much battery is left, how much energy has been used, where the vehicles are when the vehicles are charging. A lot of requests that we get especially from the feds, when you're looking at 200,000 vehicles, we hit a button. And essentially what we're doing is pulling all this information into one area. We're running an algorithm across it, and then we go back to them and we'll tell them which vehicles would be best suited to be electric vehicles. So we run what's called an electric vehicle suitability assessment. And so now, rather than going back, and if you have mandates from different state and different areas and say, hey, we have to make X amount of our vehicles electric, well, rather than just guessing on which vehicles should be electric, we're able to use scientific proof to show you which vehicles would be best suited for that. And so that's the kind of the future of Geotab and where we're going. We're really excited about that. Many of our clients in DOT need asset trackers, not just obviously for their vehicles, we have them covered, but for all different types of assets. And so we're able to put on a solar-powered asset tracker. And that'll cover every one of your assets. As a matter of fact, we got beacons that if tools are left behind, you'll be notified, so that then we'll know to go back to the site to pick up our tools. That's a different product. Again, all of this is around DOT, and we do encourage you to come out to our booth. We're at 911, which I thought was a unique number. You guys won't forget, and we'd be happy to speak to you. I'll leave you with this just before I go. The future of Geotab, you'll hear it a lot. You'll hear it at every conference now, is around data. So we're collecting billions and billions of bits of data. You can imagine all of these vehicles all over the world. And what we're doing is taking all that to the cloud. And in some aspects of it, we can tell you the most dangerous roads in your neighborhoods. We can tell you the most dangerous roads in your states. And then what ends up happening is DOT is collecting this information, and they're taking that to the governor's office, and they're saying, hey, we don't know why this area is so dangerous, but we can tell you when it's dangerous, when it's snowing, when it's raining, when it's clear. And then what they can do then is send people out to monitor and see what's happening at those locations. So that can all be done with the press of a button. So we're taking DOT and we're making them IoT managers. And it's a very different aspect. So now DOT has a collection of information at their fingertips that they may not have ever had before. And that's kind of where we're going with it. So we'll be getting back with our larger partners like Colorado, DOT, and Texas, and California. And then after about a year of collecting data, we get with them and we show them all the different information we can get. And we take information from whatever the mandates come down from the state, and we start to pull data into that. And all of a sudden, where DOT used to be, okay, here's a spend for the state, now DOT is giving back to the state in other ways than normal, and giving them information about how to improve the roads and so on, and what's out there. So anyways, again, thanks very much for your time. Look forward to seeing you at the booth, and enjoy Florida.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.